Welcome back to another pen talk. Today we're going to be talking about inks, KWZ ink. I recently bought the green one at the DC Pen Show, which I really enjoyed, so I went on to Vaness inks, Vaness pens, and bought 3 more bottles. What's nice is I really enjoy the way they're packaged, and Vaness has added an extra little label here so you can see the color from the top and also the side of the ink. So this is Azure number 4, and the manufacturing date is June 15th, 2016. Brown number 4, turquoise, and of course green number 5. So when I had the green number 5, I was just amazed and impressed with the saturation of the color. Here we are with the inks on my Fabriano paper, which is the 85 grams, which is a fairly thick paper, but not much coating on it. And inks are just clean. I mean, the colors are great. Very intense, as you can see from the swipe. That saturation shows up even with the ink being spread out. One of the downsides to that is you're not going to get shading from these inks. At least I have not found any. I don't have any iron galls. I'll probably add some to my collection. We look here at the chromatography. What's interesting is a lot of color saturation that comes through in the chromatography. The brown is a nice mixture of red and blues, which separate in the chromatography. We come down here to the 2 blues, and one of the things that's apparent from the chromatography is that the azure is a much deeper and more concentrated blue, and the turquoise is a lighter blue, and that's very apparent from the 2 different colors, but they are a very similar shade of blue. I got a decent light coming in, so hopefully that color is coming through. The nice, simplistic, very useful packaging is also shown from the bottles. You got a nice wide top there, so it's easy to get any pen in there to fill it with. And again, the labels are very clear. You can definitely know what color is in that bottle. There's a number of inks from some other manufacturers where it's very difficult to tell what the ink is. So I really love this packaging. KWZ is the initials of the gentleman who makes these inks all by hand, and he started making them a few years ago just because I think from what I read on the website, he just enjoys having colors of inks, and he gets motivated and interested, and I'm glad that he felt that he could share these inks and make a business out of it, so we all benefit from that. We have some nice sunlight coming in, so I thought we would revisit his initial writings. This was done with a glass pen. So I've used these inks, at least I've used the azure and the green for a while now, and I've used them in a couple pens, and the flow has been excellent. They're easy to clean out, as you'll see when we do the water resistance tests. So I heartily recommend these inks for people. If you see a color that you like in the KWZ ink, I recommend you buy it and ink up your pen with it and give it a shout, because it's certainly going to bring you pleasure. It certainly brought me pleasure, and the colors are great. I think it's always nice to take a look at a pen writing, and we're going to do Tomo River paper here. So this is the 6mm stub, which you've seen me use with the Robert Oster ink video, and very, very clean color. I mean, that's very, very obvious. Sorry for the varies. But again, you'll notice there's no shading. When I use this nib with Robert Oster, I got some decent shading. In addition to, taking a look at different nibs, here we go with a broad nib. And right away you'll notice is a much deeper and darker color. So the more ink that you lay down, the darker it becomes, but it doesn't give you that variation that you would get with a shading ink, where you'll see it, maybe more obvious. But there we go with those two colors. There we have it. Moving on, I've been using this ink in my Hell's Bells now for over a week, and I just love it. So one of the things as I'm writing here, I'm made aware of it, this ink has an odor. It's a strong chemical odor. I wouldn't call it pleasant, but it certainly isn't of a gagging variety, but you got to be ready for that and be okay with it. Some people don't like acrylic pens or celluloid pens because of their odor, so if that's something that you find difficult to deal with, then this might not be an ink for you. So it's always good to take a look at it in a number of different nibs. So this is my Signum. Right away you can tell it's a much wetter nib and it's going to lay down a much deeper color. So same ink, just two different nibs, same paper. As you can see, it's wet. So this is definitely an intense blue. I really enjoy that from you know, all the other blues that I have. This nib is just an excellent pleasure to use. Brown inks are always nice, so let's take a look at the brown. And this is in my Seawood, which is a crisp metallic grind. And again, as you can see, it's a wet writer, and it's just a really nice color brown. It's hard for me to really state exactly how much I enjoy these colors, the intensity, how saturated they are. It just makes for an excellent writing experience. Hopefully these different nibs on this paper kind of give you a flavor for that color that you get with the KWZ inks. And again, they do have an odor to them. These inks are not advertised as water resistant. If you want water resistant, get their iron gall, but let's just see how it reacts to water. I think right away you can see that the drops of water are definitely being colored immediately from the ink. We'll let it set for a few minutes and wipe it off and see if there's anything left. Well, a few minutes have passed, and as you can see, the water has gotten even more saturated with ink, and that's probably very true. This ink has very little water resistant, but again, it's not advertised as being water resistant. I mean, there's a little bit left, but certainly nothing to write home about. So overall, I hope you enjoyed this look at some inks from a new manufacturer, at least new in our industry. So enjoy your writing experiences, enjoy inks, enjoy pens. Have a good day. Bye.